resub Kazoon Kit that says Dan Bruh, Harley Quinn, Gecko Pew Pew, MDJ, Rozzy, Dragar, Chicago Crazy, my dude, Krause, and Spiegly. Thank you very much, guys. Did I miss a clue? Wait, let's go back into Mind's Eye. Didn't see any clues. Oh, blood by the stairs. Oh, yeah, thank you.
And the blood is fresh. Whomever it belongs to could not have got far.
So he must still be in here somewhere. There's a lock there. So I like the mechanic of going insane while using your mind's eye. It's pretty cool.
The door won't budge.
There's a lock there, but I can't interact with it. Maybe I can shoot it with my gun? Actually, I do have melee attack.
The door won't budge.
That saves some time. Uh-oh. 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 How do I get out my gun? Oh god, how do I get out my gun? Oh god! Controls. Like, what a... Okay, melee works. Thankfully. Okay. An honest cheer, can you not spam so much when you give bits, please? Hold on, give me 1 second. I could fix that. Boom. There we go. Minimum bits emote is now 25.
One fatal round through the forehead. That's no accident. This was deliberate.
New Mind Palace clue. Mind Palace. Albert was murdered. Let's see. I think back here. One of those creatures. Just seems to me like he's just hanging out back here.
One fatal round through the forehead. That's no accident. This was deliberate.
Okay, let's go to our Mind Palace. Albert was murdered. Lewis pursued Albert. Lewis left the crime scene. How does those work? Okay, Lewis pursued Albert. Lewis left the crime scene. Lewis may have wanted Albert dead. Lewis may have wanted to kill Albert outright because he was Throgmorton rather than drive him off. The owner of the local bar in the port owes Lewis Flynn money. Lewis, the innsmouther that killed Albert Thornton behind at the bar in Oakmont Port. Okay, maybe at the bar. Yeah, looks like Dan Lude is live. And you need to blush. Alright, let's go check out the bar. Why do you blush on your nose? Why not? It works. If he's at the bar, it'd be over here. That's the guy who said goodbye to before.
I've seen some unsettling creatures around, like nothing I've ever encountered. What are they?
So you met a wild beast, newcomer. No one knows what they are, but consider yourself lucky to still be in one piece. They arrived in the flood. Some say they come from the sea. Others that they are Kay's punishment for us.
And what do you say?
If it bleeds, you can kill it. Keep your gun handy. And if you want to erase the memory, I sell a perfect cure right here. Remember, better to be a coward and live than brave and dead. Unless you're a newcomer.
You need to find Lewis Flynn, sir.
I'm looking for a man by the name of Lewis Flynn. Any chance he's here?
Yeah. Even if I knew, I don't rat to newcomers.
As it happens, I know you owe a debt to Mr. Flynn. Trouble is, I found your note near the dead body of Albert Throgmorton, son of Robert. So, it seems Lewis is in trouble. Might have even come here to hide. But you hand him over and he won't be back to collect what you owe. Get me?
Rock. That would explain the blood. Fine. If it gets me out of this mess, you can have him.
So?
He's upstairs. Here's the key. You gotta promise to deal with him once and for all. But save the shooting for outside, huh?
Smart man. There's your good deed for the day.
Well, goodbye.
Bye.
Yeah, the guy does have kind of a Hitler look about him. Like an old Hitler or something. Just has that look to him. I'm gonna steal your valuables back here, if that's okay. Coil springs. How do you earn... Oh, I guess you gain experience points. We're almost there to get another knowledge point. Okay. I would say he does. He just has that look about him. Cloaks do some...
Get them! Oh!
Cloaks keep doing that weird, like, flutter thing. The new emotes are just amazing. I know Julie's doing a great job. I'm having her use her mind to create some creatures, emotive creatures. So we have two freaks already with Dan Gross and Dan Fear, and then Dan Lewd and Dan Bruh. Seeing what other horror she can come up with.
What are you doing?
Charles Reed, private investigator. Mr. Throgmorton hired me to find his son Albert, so I think you know why I'm here.
That darn bartender. It was all that crazy ape's fault. You hear me?
Calm down. I only want to speak, for now. But no, if you reach for your gun, you'll hit the floor faster than you can say poetic justice.
I got nothing to hide.
He looks like a fish.
Start at the beginning. What happened?
We were in our house, me, Paul, and Will. Barry'd gone to the sea. Though I told him that it would only bring bad luck. If he'd listened to me, we'd all still be alive.
Come on, Lewis. Focus.
Right. Well, Barry dragged that damn ape to our house. He was bragging about how much Mr. Throgmorton would give us for saving his son. But that ape, he was out cold. Then woke in an instant and started screaming, attacking us. After that, can't remember a thing.
Can you do me a favor, sir, and just shout, just say really loudly, "It's a trap!" for me, please?
What kind of... why do you... your face, it's,
Oh, so you're here to attack me just because I look different to you? Want to spit on me, whisper to your friends? What's new?
no, I'm sorry. I didn't know how to ask. I've just never met someone like you before. I didn't mean any offense.
Innsmouther's bodies were blessed by the sea. You're gonna see a lot of us here, so you better get over it. We are proud of who we are.
You shot to kill. No warning, no second chances. You pursued Albert even after he fled. Why?
I can't remember it. When he woke, it was like a bloody mist descended over me. First thing I recall after is that darn warehouse and me covered in blood. I had no idea what happened, though I suspected it had something to do with that ape. Turns out, I was right.
Well, unfortunately, he could have gotten you off the hook, but you left him on it.
The things you did to Albert don't look like a bloody rage. A fatal shot to the head, a hidden body. One might start to wonder if it was deliberate.
I don't know what to say. I wasn't myself.
I hear there's a bit of a feud between the Innsmouthers and the Throgmortons. Care to fill me in?
Those apes hated us from the moment we arrived in Oakmont. Our home was destroyed. We just needed a place to stay. The Blackwood Grand family sheltered us, but others were not as hospitable. We needed jobs, food, and medicine. The city denied it all.
And so?
We had to fight for every crumb of bread. And those Throgmortons in their high castle only made our life harder, always conspiring behind our backs, always setting people against us. I'd love to see them suffer like we suffered.
You mentioned a grand family. What do you mean?
So you're a newcomer, huh? Explains a lot.
Yeah, a newcomer with a gun. Answer the question.
Okay. People here are crazy about bloodlines and tradition and reputation. The head honchos of Oakmont are called the Grand Families. There's the Carpenters, who control most of the city's underworld, the Blackwoods, who share kin with Innsmouthers through the Marsh family.
And let me guess, the Throgmortons.
Right, those filthy apes. Now that most of the Blackwoods are gone, there's nobody left to protect us Innsmouthers.
I think I've got all I need.
Please, Mr. Reed, don't tell Throgmorton about me. I know I'm in no position to ask. I didn't want to do whatever it is I did. Honest, have mercy, please. I have a family. Without me, they'll starve.
I won't tell him. Everyone seems to agree there's been an outbreak of madness around these parts. I'm inclined to believe you fell victim to it too. Plus, it seems heartless to tear apart a family after what you've been through already.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Reed. Thank you.
That said, the port's still closed. What will you do?
Hide here, I guess. Don't have a choice. The streets are flooded with police.
I'll make something up to tell Throgmorton. Leave as soon as you can.
Thank you again, sir. I won't forget this.
Is Innsmouth in the books too? Because Innsmouth was the town that the other game was set in, where they're all fish-looking people, just like that guy. Innsmouthers. Shadow over Innsmouth. Yeah, if you're really into fish, like, he's very sexy. He's got the gills with scales on it.
Please, I told you the truth, I swear.
Alright, I'll believe you this time. Braca, thank you for subbing on Twitch Prime. If you ever have, like, a fish fantasy, like, he could set you up. What the fuck is Dan Luge? It's gorgeous is what it is.
You want a drink?
Stay alert.
How Mr.
Monsters
Carpenter's
lurk
food giveaway with
underground.
his Dawn
They're
Port Club.
everywhere.
I'd like you to tell my fortune.
Splendid. The fee is the same.
Alright, I'll do it.
Let's hear what my future holds.
Good. Let me focus. The sea will be generous in the coming days. Many gifts delivered, and many will regret partaking.
I don't think I follow.
I see old and new. A hard heart against an iron will. Whoever wins, you win too. But you'll only see that from inside a metal cage. And tall pillars circled by the dead. A race from one to the next as time itself laughs.
What?
I think I'd like my bullet back.
It is what it is. The truth will out soon. Me, I just caught an early glimpse.
Why do I feel like I got scammed?
I don't know what she just... Albert was murdered. Lewis was affected by hysteria. Claims he wasn't himself affected by the same mental illness as the other fishermen. Lewis was mentally affected and couldn't entirely control his actions. Albert spread hysteria around him. Albert Throgmorton was dangerous. Lewis killed Albert Thornton while under some sort of mental influence. He couldn't control his actions, thus can't be blamed for Albert's death. I could try to uncover for him, or else Robert Throgmorton will have his head. Because... yeah, I'm thinking that that's what's going on. Yeah, so you get evidence and you have to, like, piece things together and decide what you want. He was fatally shot in the head and impaled on hooks and then hidden. Maybe hiding at the bar. Torn piece of jacket. Weak, I beg I owe you. Yeah, the deduction system is the same one from the Sherlock Holmes games, if you've ever played it. It's the same developer. I must say, this game is very well optimized, unlike the Sherlock Holmes game that they did. That one was very laggy.
Mr. Throgmorton, I've encountered something.
What? I don't have all day.
Some unusual creatures. And they sure weren't friendly.
You've seen a wild beast, Mr. Reed. I'm somewhat surprised to see you still alive. Those unsettling things appeared after the flood. I've commissioned a few studies on them, but we know little more than when we started. They're aggressive, but fortunately not immune to gunfire.
Yeah, I learned that firsthand.
Try to avoid them when possible. And when you can't, keep your weapons handy.
Mr. Throgmorton, I'm afraid I have bad news.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I found your son in the basement of a nearby warehouse. I'm sorry, but he was murdered. Shot in the head and the body hidden.
No. It cannot be true. No, no, no. I don't believe it. No.
I've tracked down your son's murderer.
Where? Who is he?
I tracked the murderer down, but he was attacked by those things prowling the back alleys. And they tore him apart. There was that Innsmouther fisherman, Lewis. He was covered in your son's blood. That may have attracted the beasts.
Are you certain the body is his?
Beyond any doubt. All that's left of him is a heap of flesh and this scrap of cloth. It's from his jacket. Just ask his friends.
Alas, this was my revenge to exact, not some wild beast's. Something must be done about those pests. Still, justice has been served. This isn't closure, but at least I know now the story. Thank you.
Mr. Throgmorton, I hate to press you, but do you think you could help me now?
Yes, you've earned it. Kay, to think a newcomer barely off the boat solves a crime the police couldn't, but I digress. Remind me, what brought you to Oakmont?
My main quest does.
I think I'm going mad, Mr. Throgmorton. I see things, visions, and I needed to stop. I was drawn here, or guided, or I don't know. But I believe the source of this madness is here, in Oakmont.
You're not wrong, Mr. Reed. An inexplicable hysteria spread through Oakmont after the flood. I funded an expedition to explore recent geological activity that may be responsible.
Yeah, I lied to him because I don't think that the guide knew that he was in what he was doing. It seemed like everyone was going crazy, including the guy in the room with the others. He went crazy and couldn't remember anything that happened afterwards. And he didn't kill anyone, or we don't think he did, so we don't really know. I didn't want that guy to die for something he couldn't control.
A geological expedition? I'm not sure I follow.
I have reason to believe the flood and this madness have the same source. As above, so below. So I sent men to find out.
The reason... It's the guy in the room... The other guy in the room is the one that... Since he didn't remember anything that happened afterwards, he's the one me to go, Maybe if he didn't remember anything that happened when he was under the influence of that mind fog, and the other guy wouldn't either. I mean, he didn't kill anyone, so I'm assuming it would be the same effect on both people.
Do these cases of hysteria involve shared visions as well?
Since the flood, many Oakmonters have had similar nightmares. Indeed, Professor Doe, the expedition leader, complained of them herself.
Waterlogged ruins with unnatural architecture, a sleeping giant, drowned streets, and a voice calling from the depths.
Her words exactly. She proposed the expedition, desperately wanting to find the cause.
You mentioned the flood. You think it's more than just a natural disaster?
You weren't here, Mr. Reed. What happened defied scientific explanation.
Well, thank you very much, Dominos. I'm glad you like the new emotes. Julia's been working hard at making some freak emotes.
Has your expedition found anything?
I do not know. Albert was part of it. His passing cannot be coincidence. Why was he alone at the port? And where are the others?
You think your son was killed because the expedition uncovered something?
Is it so hard to believe? I had no news for a week, then Albert, the only one I could trust, comes ashore and is killed.
It does sound suspicious.
Mr. Reed, I want you to find out what's going on. I expect you're as interested in the expedition's results as I am.
Well, obviously, whatever happened at the expedition is some force either doesn't want people to know what's happening there, or he was infected and was spreading madness around him.
If I'm going to look into this, I'll need to know more. Where should I start?
I'll give you the address of the expedition's headquarters and a key.
That's all you can tell me?
Let me be clear, Reed. You do not speak to me like that again.
I'm sorry, Mr. Throgmorton. I just meant the more I know, the better.
I am a busy man. I funded the research, but left all preparations to Professor Doe and Albert. When you've finished, come see me at the Throgmorton family manor. It's in Old Grove. Here, I'll show you.
What about my expenses?
They will be reimbursed after you complete your task. And of course, you've earned some compensation for your work here at the port. I'll also include a fair advance in bullets.
Bullets?
The
Bullets?
dollar lost its use here, Mr. Reed. After the flood, Oakmont returned to bartering. Bullets mean more than bills.
Well, thank you. He seems really, really broken up about his son. He can barely contain his grief.
I've said everything I know.
Don't do anything stupid, newcomer. And keep your hands where I can see them.
Alright, we got some skill points. Let's see what we can get. Set traps quicker. Earn more experience, stay sane for slightly longer. 50% chance to double crust reward items. Gain more experience from all sources. Gain even more experience. I think we gotta go for the XP stuff because that'll make me be able to get more experience quicker. And then I'll be able to level and get the other things faster. I think that makes the most sense. That way we level up like crazy. I make up words, fine. Quicker, you know what I mean. Not my hat. Looks like I just got sucked up into Cthulhu's butt or something. Robert Throgmorton funded an expedition to discover the origin of the mass hysteria gripping Oakmont. The expedition was to explore the seabed near Oakmont. Contact of the expedition was soon lost. Albert Throgmorton was the only known survivor. He was subsequently murdered. I was hired to find any expedition members dead or alive. Throgmorton will be waiting for my report in his manor in southern Old Grove.
Crew of the Cyclops. Semper Fortis brothers.
Semper Fortis brothers. I don't know exactly what sank the USS Cyclops. I only remember the screams and the mental creaking, water filling the deck, and my headache, the worst I've ever had. Found myself among the floating seaweed, drowning. A nearby piece of boat helped me survive and reach the shore of the small island. They found me on the later, starving, half-mad, and babbling about the ancient ruins and their denizens. The officials said none of what I thought I'd seen was real, but my memories are true. My powers strange gained after that ordeal prove it. I found something horrible on that island, something old and dark and slithering. It still haunts me.
Dear Mr. Reed, I understand you are the private eye that caught the murderer in the port. My life is in danger and I cannot trust anyone in the city. Please come to my room, which is just opposite yours. I'm in despair. My studies have drawn the attention of vile forces. They stalk me and will take me soon. I have cast my lot and I am beyond saving. But the 7 books must be saved at any cost. Even if I'm gone, find my notes there. This knowledge must not be lost, as it could be our kind's last hope for enlightenment. Please be the bearer of this light, for I have failed. Very well. Mystic Tomes. All that we see or seem is just a dream within a dream. Charles Reed.
Never again, they say.
Alcohol, coil, gunpowder, rags. First aid kit, antipsychotics. Oh. Collect all the mystic tomes. Oh my god. Laudanum. Soothes all ailments, add to any spirits or tonics.
No matter how much of this I chug down, the visions always return.
This is a disgusting bathroom.
Mr. Reed, you are the rare example of a man who treated one of my kind humanly, and I feel I have to repay the debt. Take this as a friendly piece of advice. Run, save your life, and leave this Drock city to the depths. Don't dig into its secrets, for they are not worth it. There's nothing good left here. I believe you can find a way to escape. Please heed my words. Lewis Flynn. Ritsky, thank you for gifting a sub to Zlati. Thank you, you British cutie. Mr. Reed, it seems you overexerted yourself while conducting an investigation for Mr. Throgmorton. Forgive me for the audacity that brought you to the Devil's Reef while you were unconscious. Please take more care of yourself in the future. I won't be there for you every time. Johannesburg.
The room opposite mine. Well, there's 2 rooms opposite mine, which is... Okay. Local Tome in the Ruins. Local women were talking about a ruined house in central Coverside near the radio tower on the crossing of Landing Avenue and Kingport Street. They said the ghosts of the house owner and his family still read the unholy book they kept. Several newcomers who tried to settle in those ruins have gone mad. The Tome of Mare. The fishermen talk of a place near the Blackwood Manor on the southern part of the Whisper Street, where meetings occur in the dead of night. The locals don't like this part of eastern Grimhaven Bay, because they seem to fear those who gather near the half-built ships. They say a certain book is read at these meetings, a cursed tome that makes people so crave the sea's touch that they go and drown in the ocean. The one reading the book stands on a cursed boat that sinks in the fog. Those who saw it touch the shore have either gone mad or disappeared. Bewitched Tome. The local legends may be more than mere superstition. A dozen witches were hanged on a huge apple tree that still grows near the cider mill. Among these documents is a confession. One of the witches said the devil himself granted them a book with words of power. This book hides itself from mortal eyes, waiting for the witches to be reborn to return to claim it. The witch who wrote this confession lived in the eastern Reed Heights, somewhere north of the intersection of Communion Road and Museum Avenue. Could the book still be hidden there? I have a dream. I had a dream so real it makes my hand shake. A huge Ferris wheel rose amongst the city. People got on and rode it higher and higher before jumping off at its peak. As the pile of corpses grew bigger, the crowd pushed me to the wheel. And then I saw a man with a leather bag. He was standing in the center of the wheel and was reading from a book. His awful dirge was making the wheel rotate and dragging the crowd to the slaughter. Could this be real? I know there is a Ferris wheel at the park in the western Oldsgrove near Century Avenue and Bacon Street. But where could the book be? Building the church was his redemption. Day after day he worked without payment, carrying stones or putting them in the moist soil of Salvation Harbor. At night, when he returned to his house behind the church, he could not sleep. The book his ancestors brought across the ocean called. When the church was built, the priest found him hanged on the bell ropes. But the book is still waiting for someone to come read it. His house is in the center of Salvation Harbor on the old road, Church Road, between Seven Oaks and Swindheim Street. Still has a bad fame. No one wants to live there even after the flood. I guess these are all clues as to where the 7 books are. It took a lot of effort to track down this book. Apparently it's hidden on this very page. One must simply click on the sub button and click subscribe free in purple, and thou shalt be engulfed in the prime sub of Cthulhu, and be granted the great power over beasts like Dan Gross, Dan Fear, and other vile creatures. Just click upon the sub button, my brothers, and become one with madness. Oh, I misread that. It took a lot of effort to track down this book. After being stolen from the Throgmorton Museum, it was brought by a local surgeon who was found dead in his house after the flood. I snuck in and checked out his place, but in vain. Still, there's somewhere else in the tome, maybe. The private hospital in Western Reed Heights is where the surgeon worked, has been abandoned. Archives say it's on Bourbon Road between Innsmouth Road and Oak Street. I boarded up the windows and locked the door. They are just men, the Yellow King's gang. They can't get here now. Now there's only me and these nightmares. A little longer and I'll figure them out. Book in the bank. Talking with the locals is never easy. This old chap is one of the queerest yet. He was happy to talk about the book, but only laughed when proposed to buy it. I left it in the most guarded place of the city and paid enough to keep it there until the world ends. And if it abandoned after the flood, even better. Ignorance is the best guardian. I'm guessing he meant the abandoned bank building in the northern Advent on Forefather Street between Hale Street and Windhalf Avenue. Alas, it would be too dangerous to go there by myself. Okay, well, I got all the clues. That guy went crazy, drew all these symbols over the floor. I always wondered if there really is magic out there
Makes
somewhere.
this place feel more like home. I miss Boston already.
I wonder if there really is magic somewhere out there, some like ancient spells and stuff that have been long forgotten. And someone just has to find it. Or maybe it's like magic where if you're not crazy, you can't use it. Or if you don't believe, you can't use it. You have to truly believe before the power becomes real. Mr. Archer, I've seen you dragging things into your room. Mind the floors. I'll make you pay for any scratches you leave. Your landlord. Oh, thank you for subbing Twitch Prime, Roarman. And thank you for the regular subs, Sir Taken. Thank you for falling to madness. Check each of these rooms. Hello. Gunpowder. Too many coincidences, so the lighthouse is out. Several ships have gotten lost at sea, and some are now decorating the city's beaches. That's one thing. But now there's an enterprising fellow at the city port hiring sourders to recover ships. He's turning a tidy profit from selling them. Can't be a coincidence. Need to look into it. Now, if only the city wasn't so impossible to navigate. Oh, really, Johnny J. Man? Only Randy Pitchford wields the power of true magic. Yeah, he cast that wizard spell. He did cast that wizard spell at the Borderlands 3 reveal. That stupid magic. That like 15-minute trick that was so bad. It was like such a bad payoff. We went everywhere down here. Double check this room. Yep, okay. This place does not like its mirrors, does it?
Finally, you're awake. Gotta tell you, though, mister, you want to stay on here? You stop making all that noise.
Sorry, but who are you again?
You bang your head or something? I'm Victor Olmsted. I own the place. This place. The Devil's Reef Hotel.
Is your name Gil by any chance?
Noise? What noise are you talking about?
I expect my guests to be respectable. Moans, chanting, all that kind of thing. It stops, all right?
I know it's always fish people. Innsmouth people are part fish.
Got any proof it was me? It could have been one of my neighbors. I slept like a rock. I didn't hear a thing.
That's exactly what a newcomer would say.
How dare you?
Your neighbors are respectable people and would never do such a thing. Don't think your yellow-clad patron means you get away with everything.
You're not exactly friendly with your guests. Are we the ones keeping you in business?
All these newcomers after the flood, they're stark raving mad.
What do you mean?
You can't imagine the crazy notes and books I find after they move out. Only thing they're good for is lighting the kitchen stove.
Can I have a look?
I knew it. I tell you, no one sane would be interested. And you want to take a look? Well, fine. Take what you wish.
Don't look in his mouth if it zooms in on him again. That was disgusting.
I'm watching you, newcomer.
I just got a pack of notes. Holy damn, that was a lot of stuff. Too many coincidences. Keep it down. The nightmares. Already got all that. Fortune teller prophecy. So you'll be generous when it's coming days. Many gifts will have many regrets partaking. Trophy play with a strange fish looks very lifelike. Ugh. Key the headquarters. Lost expedition. Mystic tomes. Have to find all that. Letters from Oaksmith. Hotel owner allowed me to look through weird notes he found in the rooms of disappeared newcomers. Among them, I found several pages from the diary of a man describing his life in Oakmont. He suffered from visions and marked the places where they happened. Was he trying to avoid them? Forlorn woman. So these are locations where there are visions, and I can go find them. They're very, very long, though. I can mark them on the map. Actually, no, wait. It doesn't mark them on the map. I have to find them and then place it on the map. Alright, let's see. Alright, so I need to... I went to the eastern part of Salvation Harbor near the crossing of Fitz O'Callaghan Street and Old Church Road. Old Church Road and Old Church Road and right here. Fitz O'Callaghan Street and Old Church Road. Fitz O'Callaghan Street. I see Old Church Road. Where the hell is Fitz O'Callaghan Street? Eastern Salvation. Fitz O'Callaghan Street. Anyone see? Oh, right there. Fitz O'Callaghan Street, filing. Place it right there. Forlorn woman. Okay. And then this one. St. Elmo, Eastern Coverside. St. Elmo and Kingsport. St. Elmo and Kingsport. Kingsport and St. Elmo. Boom. Okay, then Purity Road and Oak Street. Western Advent. Oak Street. Purity Road. Boom. Southern Old Grove. Southern Old Grove between Seaside Street and Hillside Street. Seaside Street and Hill Street. So somewhere over here. Seaside, Hillside, somewhere in that area.
Central shells. It would be nice if it just told me where this stuff was. Having to find this is just tedious. East Brown Street, St. Michael's Road. Something around there. Yeah, it's like, I know it's like finding a location isn't exactly the most investigatory. It just tells me exactly where it is. I'm not having to investigate. I'm having a map quest here. Eastern Reeds. Lombard Street, Eastern between Lombard, Heel Dog, and Bullock. Helog Street and Bullock. Bullock. Helog Street. And where's Bullock? Between Helog Street and Bullock Street. Oh, right there. Somewhere around here. And then Western Reed Heights. Crossing of Baker Ward and Ebion. Perfect. And then Murdoch Street and Oak Street. Western Advent. Oak Street and Murdoch. And then Western Reeds. Oops. Western Reed Heights. Washington Street, Ebion, and St. Oak. Oak Street and Ebion. Where's Ebion? Oh, there it is. So somewhere over in this general area. Northern Grimhaven Bay. Hubert and Whisper. Whisper Street. Hubert Avenue. I don't see Hubert Avenue anywhere. Corner of Hubert Avenue and Whisper Street. I see Whisper Street right here, but I don't see Hubert. Oh, there it is. Hubert Avenue. Western Coverside, Tanner Street and Old Church Road. Old Church Road and Tanner Street. It's fine. If I have it wrong, it's okay. Where the hell's Tanner Street? Tanner Street. I did not see Tanner anywhere. Oh, there it is. Boom.
Washer Street between Eben and St. Oak. There we go. Okay. There we go. That was a lot of... I have to do the same thing with the Mystic Tomes, too. Northern Advent, Forefather Street between Helog and Windhalf. Boo. Western Reed Heights between Innsmouth and Oak Street. Innsmouth and Oak Street. How's this game so far? I'm enjoying this game. I find it fun. Innsmouth and Oak on Bourbon. Boom. Oh, thank you for the Prime sub, Pretzel, Liam, and God from Godhand. Thank you very much, guys. And Cracky and Orange Nation. Yeah, it's a very detective game, so if you like explorative stuff, it's pretty cool. Old Grove near Century and Bacon. Century and Bacon. Century Avenue. Eastern Reed Heights, intersection of Communion Road and Museum Avenue. Boom. And then Eastern Grim Haven Bay. Southern end of Whisper Street. Near the road to Blackwood Manor. So somewhere over here. Somewhere in that general direction. And then Central Coverside, near the ruins of the radio tower. Landing in Kingsport. Somewhere over there. Okay. Robert Thorne gave me a key to the expedition headquarters, Northern Coverside, crossroad of Asher Street and Hubert Avenue. Asher Street and Hubert Avenue. Asher and Hubert. Where the hell is Hubert? I'm not seeing the phrase Hubert anywhere. Oh, there it is. Hubert and Asher, right there. That's the headquarters. Okay, and then... Okay. I didn't realize there could be so much map work in this. God, that was a bombardment of stuff. That was a lot of... I feel like... You know what that reminded me of is... Did any of you guys go on vacation in the 90s before GPS was like a big thing? And your parents would have to go and buy that big map thing, and if they're doing a road trip, and use the highlighter to highlight the route and stuff. And you hit, like, your mom would be in charge of the map, and your dad would be driving. And then they'd always mess something up somewhere, and you have to like spend an hour figuring out where the hell you were, what street you were on, how to go back, and then there's a whole thing. Good old times. Yeah, some good old stuff back in the day. Yeah, they would take turns driving. Sometimes they do like the switch off where your mom would drive and your dad would sleep, or so they could get there faster. You know.
I'm watching you, newcomer.
I'm watching you too, sir.
My dear Victor, how is Oakmont treating you? Should you require any support, the Blackwoods will be happy to help you. I've arranged for that. Regarding your question, I don't know where Robert went, sadly. Only that he did not stay at Innsmouth. Perhaps they're in hope he didn't perish in that cursed raid. Take care of the hotel, please. Plenty of the relatives were interested in that property. But you're still my favorite nephew. I know the Devil's Reef is in good hands. Kind regards, Aunt Portia. Am I allowed behind the counter? I guess. Wish there's no other clues around here. Yeah, it looks like I'm allowed. No one say anything. Wow, that's a record player. Giant conch shell is the speaker. I love it. Walter, Kay help you if I hear you're peddling your cheap, affordable living again. I could live with you renting out beast-ridden flop houses. But you're cutting into my profit. Don't make that mistake, and I have dangerous people living here, and I can send them after you. You've been warned, Vic.
What the hell's that all about? Why would you leave a letter like that just lying on the counter? Another letter here. Note about hobo signs. Darren, I think it's finally starting to figure this out. Locals use signs to mark special places that you know already. Kind of like secret signs hobos use all over the country. What I learned is that the tradition dates back to the times well before the flood. I've been able to find out the meaning of some of them. You've seen the crooked H sign around doors in town. That means the house is inhabited. The crosshatch grid marks hidden caches of useful items. The V-shaped signs for barricaded dangerous places. Good catch there, they say. So I figured about the spiral-shaped sign, though. You'll have to investigate for yourself. And if you see a sign with a cross and 3 Ks, reach for the gun. K. Oh, so it highlights the crooked little H thing there. How far am I? We've only been playing for a couple hours now. We're still pretty fresh at the start of the playthrough. We just beat the tutorial mission. Now we're getting to the meat of the game. I'm going to the bathroom real fast. I'll be right back in